In 2025, the Trump administration ignited a trade dispute with Canada, a close ally and crucial trading partner. Citing national security concerns, the U.S. imposed tariffs of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum imports from Canada. This protectionist move sent shockwaves through the integrated North American economy. Canada, refusing to be treated as a security threat, responded with retaliatory tariffs. These targeted a range of U.S. goods worth $12.6 billion, covering products from ketchup and yogurt to washing machines and playing cards. This tit-for-tat approach underscored the depth of economic interdependence and the potential for mutual harm. The tariffs created uncertainty and disruption for businesses on both sides of the border. The automotive industry, heavily reliant on cross-border supply chains, was particularly vulnerable. Consumers felt the pinch too, as prices for various goods increased. The trade dispute highlighted the Trump administration's willingness to leverage tariffs as a tool to achieve its economic and political objectives. It also revealed the vulnerability of global trade to unilateral action and the potential for escalation in a climate of rising protectionism. After months of negotiations and economic pressure, a breakthrough arrived in 2019. The U.S. agreed to lift the steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada, and in return, Canada dropped its retaliatory measures. This marked a welcome de-escalation of tensions and a return to a more predictable trading environment. This thaw paved the way for the implementation of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, in 2020. This new trade pact replaced the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, which had governed continental trade for over 2 decades. The USMCA introduced significant changes, including stricter labor provisions and increased U.S. access to the Canadian dairy market. The USMCA also aimed to modernize trade rules to reflect the digital economy and address new challenges like e-commerce. While the agreement addressed some long-standing irritants, it did not fully resolve all trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada. The relative calm in U.S.-Canada trade relations proved to be short-lived. In a move that surprised many observers, the Trump administration reimposed tariffs in 2025. These new tariffs, while structured differently, once again targeted Canadian goods, injecting fresh uncertainty into the bilateral relationship. The 2025 tariffs were presented as a means to pressure Canada on issues ranging from energy to illegal drug trafficking. However, the move was widely seen as a return to Trump's protectionist playbook and a tactic to appeal to his domestic base. The tariffs came with exemptions for goods deemed compliant with USMCA rules. This two-tiered system created complexity for businesses and raised questions about the future direction of U.S. trade policy. While some Canadian goods such as potash were exempt, others, including energy products, faced a 10% tariff. Goods deemed non-compliant faced a hefty 25% tariff, posing a significant challenge to Canadian exporters. Canada responded to the reimposed tariffs with a mixture of pragmatism and defiance. While maintaining its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, it suspended a planned second wave of tariffs. This approach signaled a willingness to engage but also a firm resolve to protect Canadian interests. The political fallout was significant. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expressed disappointment, calling it a potential trade war. Diplomatic channels remained open, but relations were strained. The economic impacts were multifaceted. Supply chains faced renewed disruption. Consumers experienced rising prices, adding to inflationary pressures. Key sectors like automotive, agriculture, and manufacturing bore the brunt. The long-term consequences remain to be seen. The U.S.-Canada trade relationship has entered a new era, marked by volatility and uncertainty. The use of tariffs as a political tool has cast a long shadow over the economic and political landscape.